So, what's going on with me? Uh, right now I am doing like support groups, stuff like that, to kind of tear down the lies I've been told about what a failure I am. um, my social worker 4 years ago said, "You're isolated." And I knew that a long time ago. And what I do know about some relationships that are toxic, you do tend to get isolated, and you tend to, um, what I say is get desperate for like some type of love or care or whatever, and it's like you find it in all the wrong places because predators kind of know maybe you're lonely. Maybe you're an outcast. Maybe you have a ridiculous amount of pressure on you. Um, and like when I was working in several jobs, I was able to handle a lot of neurosis. I want to say somebody else's. Uh, I always worked in like customer service because I like helping people like solve their issues, and I felt good about myself because it's you don't take any other crap personally. It's just if there's like a common problem, you can solve it. But eventually, I realize some people don't want their problem solved, they just want to complain. There usually is a solution to every problem. Um, in my opinion, I used to love algebra in high school, but later on in life, I totally got like failed at it. I think with people, it's the same way. Like you could be really good at some problems and not so good at another. Um, but I kind of look at situations where some people, for example, there were some customers or whatever that were red flagged a lot. And I don't know why. I just know that somebody's always keeping a record of those things for a reason. Maybe that person was too crazy for words, maybe they were very abusive to a employee or something like that. Maybe something was going on. So I learned that people like that, I wasn't alone in dealing with it because I'm getting paid to be here, but that doesn't mean I'm getting paid to be your punching bag. Um, some people do live their life like that. Like they seek out somebody to fuck with. But they would be red flagged, and they would be dealt with by somebody, not me. So I learned that, and I really like, I can't say that I hated jobs like that for any reason because honestly, like, it gave me this confidence of not being alone in situations. Okay, so there were other people I could go to for help. I can call security. I can call my manager. I can get somebody to see things the way they are instead of me acting like, well, this is my place and I'm not gonna let you do that. It sounds ridiculous. Um, right now I'm not working, and I think eventually it did take a toll on me, and I did become severely depressed, and I even like going through homelessness and stuff, like my brain just cracked open and was like, you're that's how my head was. It was like walking zombie robot type of. It's scary. Like homelessness really wrecks um your brain. Uh, so anyways, I looked at this girl that was like on the news because they said her sister was saying she used to be such a smiley, happy, cool person, valedictorian, all kinds of stuff, and then she ends up sleeping on a sidewalk. And I think if I've been in that situation. I had a 4.0, you know what I mean? I had my shit together. I took care of myself. I just think that I couldn't take it anymore. When I was younger, I watched this football player do the same thing. Like he was probably under a ton of pressure. He ended up sleeping in a tent with a bunch of books. And I think that some people just crack under pressure. I really do. It's like this is too much. And I did go back to those jobs before within the last couple of years, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I can't be your anything, you know? I'm not what you want. I'll say that. And I approach the same thing with dating. Like, I don't know why you can't find somebody more your caliber, honestly. Like, I will never understand it. Like, what are you looking for? Um, so, anyways, I'm about to do another support group and keep this up and realize that some people don't understand healthy relationships. They just don't. And I think I have this. This is from the 90s, the American Psychiatric Association from the 90s. And my mom was always in psych wards and weird facilities far away, and I missed her all the time, and I hated what was going on. And I didn't understand it because I knew better. You can let somebody destroy you. You can let somebody, but I read it now, and I don't think I don't see UFOs. I don't talk to trees. I don't. Somebody at a halfway house asked me if I was schizophrenic, and I didn't answer. I don't know why someone would ask you that unless they're kind of like some type of psychiatrist. Is that your job? And he got pissed off because I didn't want medication. I'm very, very skeptical of medication. My mom took 4 different kinds and died at 52, having a heart attack and blowing up like a balloon. And she wasn't always like that. She was a very hard worker when it came to her kids. And I look more at like sexual disorders and stuff like that. It's really interesting what's in this freaking thing. Like, do you have a problem? That's what I want to ask people. Like, the types of people that look for hookers all the time and stuff like that. Maybe you've got something going on upstairs and you need something to take that down a notch. I think like modern day I've seen the documentary The Invisible War. I've seen The Hunting Ground, which are both about rape and stuff like that. So that'll mess you up, but it doesn't mean you should be labeled as somebody that's not taking it very well. In my opinion, the other person should be analyzed. I want to say, like, why would you do that? So I can use an example of, because I'm just blown away by it. The Hunting Ground, at the very end, one of the people was a famous football player. He turned into a famous football player after what happened. What like whether it happened or not, why are you addicted to sex? I'll say that. Like I can't speak for somebody else and what happened to them, but me and my sister used to go to restaurants at night, like IHOP, and sit there and chit chat all night, because we were the type of people not stay in the house. Even as kids, we were always outside doing whatever. But that some people saw, like, this man drove up on me asking for directions, and then he's showing his, and it's like, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Call the cops. I would, if I were like working in a psych ward or something like that, I think somebody like that would be an interesting candidate to be analyzed. And I have looked up sexual disorders of why do you have a woman at home raising kids with her, but you go looking for somebody that's like, I want to say slumming, you know, why do that? And that's just one instance of something that I'd be interested in trying to figure out. Like, I would like to analyze a person like that, and I do think it's interesting that, I mean, that guy that became a football player, just that lifestyle, and it's all sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So I wouldn't want to analyze somebody like that. I kind of figure, like, you want power, you want to be the alpha male, like that's somebody that's determined to be that way. I think it's a different situation. Um, I've seen, unfortunately, some horrible situations where women were trafficked to other countries, like you know there's a show on Netflix called Human Trafficking. Mira Sorvino's in it. Um, I met her when I was at one of my jobs. I didn't meet her. I met her nanny, who was throwing a fit. Um, but she's in it. She's in it. She's an advocate for human trafficking victims, and it does talk about women that thought they'd be models. They signed up to be models with an agency, and next thing you know, they are trapped in this mansion with high gates and, forced to have sex with people all the time. And the one girl tried to get out through Homeland Security or whatever, and instead she got shot walking out the door. So I've seen on the dark web, I've seen these women naked in ropes, and they're usually pretty. I've seen them be incredibly abused. Um, but that was probably before I went to college and moved away, because I could not take seeing all that stuff all the time. I don't know, because you really can look up anything on the internet, or some people can. Um, it was awful to kind of like think about those girls all the time and see random people where I worked. Like, I wonder if this is happening to you, or I wonder if it would happen to you, and what would I do to stop it. What irritates me the most is people saying that it doesn't happen, and maybe you don't know, maybe you've never seen it. I've showed videos to people. Like, I don't know why you won't believe me, but here you go. See, that's psychotic. Um, so I don't know how the I don't know if they ever get caught. I don't care. I would never sign up to work in that type of job where you're the one that has to catch them. Like, no. But I have a lot of hope that they do, because I would never want to see that happen to somebody where they did escape that kind of situation, where they were, mentally, emotionally, physically um, abused. And, didn't survive it. But, anyways, my mom lived in a facility about, I guess, an hour away from here, and I wasn't allowed to see her unless we went to the facility. So it kind of traumatized me from the beginning of, like, why are you here? What did you do? Um, she used to get locked out of the house, stuff like that. And for me, it just set the standard of marriage and what I don't want. And I would never rely on somebody to do anything. Like, this one guy wanted me to move in with him. Mm-mm. Or, being engaged, being any of it. Like, what do you see as marriage? What do you see as a partnership? Me as the child and you taking care of me. No. I think that was kind of what went on with my mom. So she had schizophrenia. Um, Originally, I was diagnosed with major depression, PTSD, an adjustment disorder. And also, I can be completely honest, like, there were drugs in my life, there were bad people in my life, and I did the best I could to get away from that. Did go to hospitals, and I did go to halfway houses, and I did have to go through drug court and mental health court and all kinds of things to stop the craziness in my life. So I reach out more to people like that instead of isolating myself and thinking I have some screwed up mental disorder, because I did read about schizophrenia. And it just, I I think I know me better than anybody would know me. Maybe you're observant of some people, but if you're going to discount the fact that somebody was abusive and like all you try to do is get away from a bad group of people, it's real easy to say someone's bipolar or whatever, but look at how they got fucked up. And it's funny to me because this is from the 90s. This thing is from the 90s. And it says person might be wearing multiple jackets, multiple gloves, something like that. In my opinion, if I were analyzing that individual, I think maybe somebody touched them inappropriately. And I don't think you're looking at what really goes on in the world. So I'm going to say how I feel. I think it's real easy to give somebody a bunch of drugs and shut them up. But at the end of the day, you're just as bad as the drug dealer on the street. Like, so I'd rather be around people that are honest about what goes on and don't hide the fact that some people have control issues for real and just want to treat you like a puppet. Anyways, in and out of psych wards for years, and that's what I came. That's the watching so many things, watching the Invisible War, and going on the dark web and seeing the truth of dangerous people and not trusting them. You do have a choice. So, anyways, my nephew said recently, "You brainwashed me," and I'm like, "How?" You know. I think he's getting it. I think anybody could be that individual, like a priest, a preacher, a salesman, a charismatic individual. If you look at the Nexium cult, I think I said it right. Keith Raniere went to prison for MLMs, stuff like that. The pyramid schemes, where this person da 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 da. Would I want to be a part of anything like that? No. Have I been around people like that? Absolutely. Have I quit? Yes. Like, I don't believe your lies. It's that simple. And I never will. I think eventually, if you stick with it, people do get what they deserve. You just have to wait it out. That's how I feel. So I do pay attention. It's a great show. It's on Netflix, I think, or something. Mira Sorvino. She's in the movie Wise Girls with Mariah Carey. It's a very good show, and you can see the reality of it, where girls are signing up to be supermodels, but they end up somewhere else. Let me say just one thing. Anthony Hopkins and Steve Harvey are texting me on TikTok. Is that really them? I don't know. I don't care. I wonder, because I was at a job once where there were celebrities there, and it was awkward, but they're just people like you and me, and I hope to God that it's not really them. I'm hoping it's just some Nigerian scam artist. I'm hoping that's all it is. And it's just, but you look at Harvey Weinstein and the whole 90 actresses condemning him to hell. I don't think what you have or who you say you are really matters at the end of the day. If you're just trying to get something out of somebody because of your status, anybody could do that. I choose not to. Yuck. But anyways, that's all I'm going to talk about. And just, getting some things out of my conscience that bothered me. Whether anybody would listen or not, this makes me feel better because I can look in the mirror and I can sleep at night, and I'm not the one that's writing prescriptions for people who are malnourished and trying to get off of drugs and stuff like that. So